What's up, everybody? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos, and today I'm bringing you my first deck profile entry into set 3. Now, I took this deck to my locals last night, and I ended up going undefeated. That's right, undefeated 4-0 after 4 rounds of Swiss, first place overall, and I won the whole damn thing. Shout out to my teammates. We had a really good representation last night. I took first. My teammate Brian took second. So, it was pretty good showing. We protected the house, but I did end up taking it through 4 rounds of Swiss. And, I'm just really happy with how the deck was working. I'm really happy how I interacted. As far as my matchups go, round 1, I played against Super Saiyan 3 Goku leader with the Ultra Instinct package. That was an easy victory for me. Round 2, I played against the Mirror, which was kind of a grind, but I ended up taking it at the end because I just out-resourced my opponent. And then round 3, I played against my teammate Brian, who ended up taking second. I played against Pan, and it was the best game that I've had in Dragon Ball Super since I've started playing the game. It was great. So shout out to him. He's a great player. And our matches are always fun, so I had a lot of fun. And then round 4, again, I played a Pan, and I ended up sweeping the entire competition. So without further ado, we're gonna keep rambling on my results. Let's just get into the deck. There it is. I'm running Mass Saiyan. Now, I refuse to play the Mecha Frieza with the Apes. It is a great deck, but I just refuse to play it. I didn't play starter deck Goku last format, and I'm not going to play Mecha Frieza this format. I just refuse. So I've wanted to play this leader since it was announced. I didn't realize how good it was actually going to be, but this leader is really, really good. Okay? Basically what he does is he mills the top 3 from your deck to the drop. If there's a black card, he gains critical, and if there's any other color, he gains 5k. So he's a 15k critical on the front side, which is great because you can put pressure on unawakened, on your opponent's leader when you're unawakened, which is amazing. So he does that, and then he awakens for life, draw 2 cards, which is great. A lot of the new leaders in set 3 have the effect where they awaken, they untap 2 energy. But this draws you 2 cards, which is amazing. And then on the back side, just look at that artwork. I just wanted to play this card for the artwork. But on the back, it's Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. He has the same auto as pretty much every leader. When you attack, you draw a card. He still has his active main where you mill 3 cards, and he gains the pump and the crit. So he becomes a 20k crit on the back, and you draw a card when you attack from him. It's really good. It's kind of like this set's Vegeta. I think it's a little better than Vegeta because you can control when you get the awaken, when you get the crit, and when you don't. You kind of have to play smart. You don't want to use the effect every single turn because you can deck out if you're playing against slower opponents. So you want to minimize the milling, but you want to make sure that you optimize your alpha strikes with the crit. But it's a great leader. I encourage everyone to try it. I've seen this deck built so many different ways, but this build did good for me yesterday. That doesn't mean it's a perfect build. I am going to tweak a couple things, which I'll get to when I show off what's going on in the profile itself. But I'm really happy. So we're going to get right into the deck. So this is kind of, I guess you can call it a tricolor deck if black was a color, but I'll show you the red first. So we're running 4 Rushing Warrior Pan. So the reason I'm running this card is it's actually for 2 reasons, but you need red energy to charge, and this card kind of lacks a little bit of draw power. So Pan is good because when you combo with her from the field, you get to draw a card. So I don't mind summoning this card and just letting it sit there, and then comboing either into my leader or some of the other battle cards that I have in this deck. Because that +1 that you get off your draw is really valuable. It kind of speeds up the deck a little bit, and it allows you to maintain hand advantage. Because this is an aggro deck, you're constantly comboing to do damage to your opponent. You might not have as much resources as you want. So I feel like Pan works really well with that. So that's why we run 4 Pan. Then, of course, every deck that plays red has Kaba. Kaba is basically your main way of awakening. The way the meta is shaping right now, I don't see there being a problem with awakening in this format, simply because everybody's kind of playing semi-aggro. but it's still good to have that option in case you come across that rogue player who's just playing slow, or somebody who's purposely not awakening you. Kaba is great because it can help you awaken, and it's a threat on board that does double strike. It's also red energy. We need red energy in this deck to play our threats. So I run 4 Kaba. The next red card I run is Topo. Now, I'm only using 2. This is definitely one of the changes I'm going to make. I'll probably bump him up to 3. Topo is a great card. He's a body counter, is what I like to call him. He's 4 red. He's 4 energy, 2 red. He's a 20k attacker. He's a counter, so you can play him to stop your opponent's attack. But his permanent is amazing. When there's a leader on board with 15k, either you or your opponent. So whenever somebody is awakened, his summoning cost reduces by 2. So he's just 2 red energy to play. And that's on as the counter or just a hard cast. He's awesome. Like, it's just a great card. I really love the fact that it's a 5k combo with no cost. It's amazing. And also, when he attacks a battle card, if he kills it, he restands. So it's kind of like a mini Jiren. And, you know, the fact that it's a 0-5k combo is amazing because it's not really going to be dead in your hand. And it just puts tons of pressure on your opponent because you can literally clear their board with just Topo and keep restanding it. Topo's a great card. I see it getting a lot of heavily play this format, especially in like red decks. But in this deck as well, it's really good. I'm definitely going to up him to 3 because 2 is just not enough. And then the last red card, of course, we run the Double Strike Champa. Your deck is crit, so you have to run Double Strike Champa. And I have more than just my leader that does critical. This is the end of the red package. A lot of people ask me why I don't run Quick Rush Trunks. I think that card is bad because it's 2 red energy. And most of the time when I was playing with it in testing, I just charged it. I rather use Topo for 2 red energy because it has more of a plus off of it. The Trunks was nice because of the critical, but it just doesn't help with the synergy of the deck because you kind of rely on that card a little too much, and I don't want to get stuck, you know, waiting for one card in the deck. I kind of want it to have like its own type of flow to it without being too encumbersome with some cards. So this is the end of my red package. You have to run Champa because you get crit, so it's really good. Basically, like how I play this deck is when my opening hand, my 6 cards, I want a mulligan for red. I just want red in my opening hand. I probably need at least 2 reds in my opening hand just to go off properly. So I just make sure that I try to get a Champa in one of those cards. Otherwise, the deck does draw decently enough to where you'll see it eventually. The second color that I run, or the second out of 3 that I run a support blue package because I think blue has the best support in the game right now. So I run 3 Jacko. This is my answer to the mirror. I mean, this card literally won me the mirror. The mirror is kind of tough because you're getting critted every time, but you need to have hands. So just Jockoing their Double Strike Champa, they still have a pump because the leader's 5k, you know, he's 5k. So by dropping the Jocko, you're actually even with the leader, so they're still doing the damage unless you want to overcombo. But I'd rather take 1 damage crit than 2 damage crit, and they have to tap out for the Champa. So I know it's in their hand, and I know that I've already used an energy for it. So this card literally wins you the mirror. 4 is too much; you don't need it. But 3 is the perfect number. I really don't play all 3. I usually charge 1 because I need 1 blue energy in this deck to use my other blue cards. But 2 Jacko is really good. I like Jacko. Jacko's a really good card. Then I run 3 Whis Coercion. The reason I run Whis Coercion is, like I said, I feel like the meta is becoming a little faster right now, and people are being more aggressive. And this is just like the best negate in the game because it's free. I do really like the black negate, but I don't like tapping out for it. I like playing Whis because I can leave my blue energy open, and worst case scenario, I can tap the blue energy and restand another color. Not that I would do that, but I like this card. This card is really good. It's free, and it stops an attack. 4 is too much. You don't need to be so defensive in the early game. It is a little crappy when you mill it off of the Bardock leader, but this is not essential to winning. It just helps you grind if you need to. This deck wins consistently turn 3 or 4. After turn 4, it does become a little bit of a grind. That's when these play in. So it's a good card. It's a good card. I like it at 3. And then the last blue card I run is 4 Sensu Bean. Sensu Bean is still really good. Being able to restand energy You don't really play too many expensive cards in this deck, so being able to restand energy for combo or to get out another threat like a Topo or something is really good. Playing it defensively is really good because you can give it to your leader, make him a 20k or a 25k, so your opponent has to keep comboing over, and then they're just pitching cards out of their hands. Like you need to have card advantage. I've been saying it since day one. This game is about maintaining card advantage over your opponent, and you need to do that. So if you have more cards, you win. Sense of Being allows you to gives you survivability, so that's why I run it. It's a great card. And then onto the black. This is the bread and butter. It's a lot of black, but it actually works really well. So the best super combo in the game, sorry Shugesh, best super combo in the game right here is the Supreme Kai of Time. It doesn't have any energy restriction. It doesn't have any life restriction. Basically, all you need is 5 cards in your warp, and you super combo and you draw cards. So it's like an old school super combo that allows you to draw. But you don't need. You can play it with 8 life as long as you have 5 cards in the warp, which makes this card ridiculous. Normally, I hoard them and play them on defense, but there are situations when you can play them on offense to out combo your opponent, and you can do this card multiple times. Like you can use it. You can use more than 4 copies of it. I'll show you how later, but I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But the black super combo is too good. Then we have, of course, probably one of the best overwhelm cards, if not the best overwhelm card, Time Patrol Trunks. It just allows you to add consistency to your deck. You know, looking at the top 2 cards, picking one, and then, you know, replacing it either at the top or the bottom of the deck allows a lot of synergy with the leader because you kind of are granted what card you're going to mill off the top next. So if you pull a red or a black, you know, if you want the crit, you know to put a black on the top. If you want the 5k pump, you know to put a red. So he's a really good card. It's overwhelm. It helps you fix your hands. It's also an evolve target, which we'll get into. But I like Time Patrol Trunks. I think 4 is a good number. I might try putting it down to 3. I'm not exactly sure, but I like this card at 4 because I never feel like I neg when I play it. And then we have 3 of the new Trunks, the Unrelenting Assault Trunks. This Trunks is really friggin' good. Whenever this card is warped from your field or your deck, it goes right back to your hand. So it's a free. It's a recurring black card, which is great because it's an evolve target. I mean, he's just regular 15k. Doesn't do anything special, but it's a 5k combo if anything. So at least you know you're putting one back in your hand, and it allows you to evolve into this guy, Killer Sword Trunks. Probably one of the better card. I'm not gonna say the best card in the deck because the best card is the leader, but one of the better battle cards in the deck is Killer Sword Trunks. And you have 7 targets to evolve onto with the 3 Unrelentings and the 4 Time Patrol Trunks. This card is bananas. It's a Xeno evolve, so it's you tap 4 and you evolve it over your Xeno Trunks in active mode, and the one that you're evolving on top goes to the warp. So if you evolve it onto this guy, he comes back to your hand. And what he does is when he comes out, his auto is he allows you to play a card from your warp area with a cost 3 or less. So in this deck, that's really good because you can bring back the super combo and you have basically a draw off of it. You can bring back the pan and you can draw off the pan. You can bring back Champa and have a double strike Champa on board. You just tap 1 energy to play. There's a lot of synergy with what you have in your warp because your warp becomes your drop set essentially. This card is really good. It's a free 5k combo, which is amazing. Excuse me. I really love this card. It's a really great card. The other SR Trunks from the set is really good. This is in the structure deck. The other SR Trunks is really good as well, but it's an overwhelm tap 2, and I'm already tapping out on turn 4 for this card. I don't want to have to keep tapping so many energies because I want to be able to combo and save myself if I have to. But this card is amazing. Try it out. It's really good. You won't be disappointed. 4 is a perfect number. Then we have 4. Oh. I'm missing one. Uh-oh. I'm missing one. We have... Where's my other Mira, dude? Where's my other Mira? Oh, I guess we're only running 3 Mira. I thought we were running 4 Miras, but I guess we're only running 3 Miras. That makes sense because I did add the pans in. Anyway, sorry about that. We're running 3 Mira from the dark. This is another crit attacker. It's overrun for 4. Usually the play is turn 1. You go into your leader, activate mill, attack for 1. They get the crit. You combo because you mill 3, so you combo with the Champa to do double strike. So it's a 25k double strike crit. They take the 2 damage. Then you overwhelm and you bring him out and you crit for 1 more. So they go into their second turn down 3 life, and it's in the drop. Like, there's no hand advantage. Critical is such a dangerous mechanic. It's literally just as good as hand destruction or like discarding. But this card is really good. 3 is a good number. It's a 5k combo, so if anything, it's never going to be dead. 8's a really good card. That's why you play the Champas. Critical is too good. Critical A is too good. Then we have 2 of the Masked Saiyan from the special pack. In the beginning, I really liked this card because it's a way of awakening. But like I said, where the meta's at right now with the aggro, I don't feel like it's necessary. And I don't really like tapping 1 energy just to blow 1 card up. Yeah, it does take a life, but once you're awakened, you don't want to use this card. So it's a 0-5k if anything, but I think that the other Masked Saiyan from the expansion set is a little better. I might take him out. I'm not exactly sure what I would replace it with yet, but I might take him out. Maybe I'll add another topo in and leave him at 1. But it is a good card. I had 1 interaction with it where I brought it out on board and I got rid of a Legic, which is the red blocker from the new GT starter deck, which is a really good blocker. So I was able to get that threat off the board and then just kind of continue with my plays. But I don't think this is detrimental to the strategy of the deck. And yeah, I wish it was a little. I wish it wasn't. I wish you didn't have to tap 1 for it. I really wish you didn't have to tap 1 for it. Anyway, it is a good card, but I'm not as happy with it as I thought I would be. And then basically my win condition. So I play the 4 Awakening Warrior Bardock. This is the only Xeno Bardock. Remember, these guys, they're Masked Saiyans. They're not Bardocks. So this is the only Xeno Bardock. Basically, he's an Overwhelm for 4 with Double Strike. That's not the reason I run him. I don't have a problem doing damage in this deck because the leader does critical and I use Champas for Double Strike. The reason I run him is because he's the only guy that lets me go into him. This is the only target for evolving onto the Bardock, okay, because it has to be a Xeno Bardock. Basically how this interaction works, this is your win condition. This card wins you games because it's a 30k triple strike on turn 5 that gets around barrier. And what I mean by that is when you Xeno Evolve this card, you take 5 cards out of your warp, put them in the drop area, and then you send all of your opponent's battle cards to the warp. So you're not targeting, you're not choosing, you're just sending all of them. So you want to make sure that, if you're playing barrier, which, all the apes have barrier and the red GT decks have barrier, this card helps you win. I actually won against my teammate round 3 because I ripped this off of my draw with my leader, and then I had this in hand to evolve. So it's the only reason I won. And it's a 30k triple strike. It's just too good, and the artwork is beautiful. Bardock is probably my second favorite character in the entire series. So yeah, I mean, this just helps you win games. You don't have to use this card to win games. Like I said, if you win by turn 3 or 4, you're never going to play this card. But if you get into those more grindy matchups, people that are playing barrier and stuff, then you have to play this card. I mean, it's a really good card. I don't know why more people don't run it. I've never found it to be a dead card. This is a free 5k. This is a 10k. So you don't really tap out too much in this deck, and it just helps you. So, like I said, if I were to make any changes, I would probably take out the Masked Saiyan. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to take out these 2, put 1 topo, and maybe just leave 1 or replace it with the expansion Masked Saiyan, just because it could target multiple cards. And I think that's a really good out for the vegan package because they reduce cost and stuff. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I also want to try using the Overwhelm Mira, that when you overwhelm him, he negs a card out of your opponent's hand. Like, he just discards 1. That's really good because your opponent needs to outcombo you in order to survive. So like if you've already put your threats on board and your opponent's comboed a significant amount of cards, getting 1 more out of their hand with the Mira is really good. So I won the tournament, guys, right? So this is what I won. Boom. I won this special Bandai winner mat. It's really nice. Obviously, I won first place, so I had my pick. And you see my boy over here, Super Saiyan Bardock, so you know I was going to pick this one. But I'm really happy with the deck. Everything worked out really well. I had a great time last night. Guys, try it out. for yourselves. Let me know if there's anything that you would change. Leave us a comment down below to let me know if you like it. And don't forget to hit that sub button. Don't forget to click the bell to get notifications next time I drop. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you soon. Peace out.